this guy. You know, you don't want to fight. He's got a big fight coming with Mike Tyson, but he's glad he...
Donald Trump just leaked a terrifying message about Mike Tyson that sent shockwaves everywhere. And trust me, it's not the kind of news you can just brush when a U.S. president comes out and warns Jake Paul that he stands absolutely no chance against Tyson. It's kind of a big deal, right? But of course, Jake Paul, the internet's favorite attention magnet, figured it would be a breeze to ride Tyson's name for some easy fame just because the man has some great hair now. As if a couple of wrinkles mean Tyson can't still wreck someone's entire career or their fad. It's almost tragic how Jake underestimated him. But Trump, he had the perfect way of spelling out just how disastrously wrong that assumption could be. So hang tight, because if you think this ride is wild, it only gets crazier.
I would say this is not a good thing. I know Iron Mike, and he's a great guy, Mike Tyson. A great guy. He's a good man. Hey, Mike's been through a lot, but he could fight. Let me tell you, that guy could fight. But can you imagine Mike? He says, put Mike in the ring with.
So Trump being Trump couldn't just leave well enough alone when Mike Tyson and Jake Paul's fight countdown started. He decided to add a bit of his signature class to the conversation by, of course, suggesting half-jokingly, who knows that he'd like to see Tyson square off against Kamala Harris in a boxing match? Yes. Because nothing screams a great idea like putting a former heavyweight champion against a vice president of the United States. This little comment went over about as well as a lead balloon at a helium convention.
Fight this guy. You know, you don't want to fight. He's got a big fight coming with Mike Tyson, but he's glad he didn't fight Mike when Mike was 19. He told me that today. But he's a fantastic guy, very talented guy.
And just now, Trump has thrown his weight behind Jake Paul, saying Tyson's age might finally spell his downfall, and this isn't just any friendly nod. Trump's betting that Paul's youth will outshine every punch Tyson's ever thrown in the ring. These comments left Tyson in the weirdest position ever. Here's a guy who's been through thick and thin with Trump, and now he's tied to this circus. Tyson's no stranger to controversy, but seriously, that's a whole different ballgame. Tyson's trying to get in the ring with Jake Paul, not drag his name through a political nightmare, and Trump is just watching it all from his golden tower, probably with a grin on his face, waiting for the world to catch up to his genius.
Segment you've all been waiting for, but on November 15th at AT&T Stadium, Mike Tyson will enter the ring to battle Jake Paul.
Tyson, the former heavyweight champ, now 58 years of age, obviously coming out of retirement for this bout against the 27-year-old Paul, a YouTuber turned fighter.
Tyson, the legend, is set to face Jake Paul, and what can only be described as the weirdest boxing match in the history of human existence. This is like watching a classic movie star take on a YouTube influencer who still thinks sending nudes is a groundbreaking joke. That's why the stakes are through the roof. My friends, if Tyson loses this fight, it's not just a loss to Paul, but to everything he's ever worked for. His entire legacy could be in shambles because of losing to a YouTuber that's like if Michael Jordan lost a one-on-one game to someone wearing Crocs. But here's the kicker. Trump is actively rooting for Jake Paul to take down one of the most fearsome fighters of all time. Why? Because Paul has young blood, according to Trump.
While Trump was running the economy, as you can see in every category, energy, gasoline, rent, and food, the numbers are exponentially lower, and the lowest of the past 30 years of presidents. Again, regardless of your emotion, I'm just presenting you with facts. Do I think Donald Trump is a perfect human being?
And nothing says winning formulas like a YouTube star with a history of starting beef with anyone who doesn't share his hair color. But there's more to it than just age. Trump's endorsement of Paul is, of course, a strategic move. Paul has openly supported Trump, so naturally, Trump's like, hey, I'll back him too. Because why not? The combination of Paul's social media clout, his unapologetic antics, and his ability to get under people's skin is exactly the kind of fighter Trump wants in his corner Tyson. Well, Tyson is a legacy, and in the world of Trump, legacy only gets you so far, especially when there's an influencer who's way more attuned to the meme-driven social media frenzy that keeps Trump's followers entertained.
And like you're insulted by the suggestion that you're too old for this. Is that a fair statement?
Hey, listen, you can't compare me with other people my age because other people at my age haven't been training as long as me and consistent.
But now it's a whole new ball game. The political endorsement is on the table, and Jake Paul, of all people, is at the top of the list, Tyson's legacy. Well, it's taking a back seat to Trump's own brand of politics, which is a fascinating dynamic to watch unfold. Because let's be real, Tyson's not exactly the political pawn. He was back in the day. Sure, he's a legend, but Trump's political alliances are as volatile as the stock market. And right now, it looks like Paul's got the inside track Trump and Tyson. Honestly, could there be a more unlikely duo? You'd expect to see this pair in a late-night TV joke rather than standing shoulder to shoulder in the history books.
Became president, and you know he was good to everybody when he was giving them free tickets and free hotel rooms. You know, he just became a president, and I guess his politics changed or whatever it is. But I always remember him from being a good guy, paying me a lot of money.
But back in the 1980s, Trump, the ambitious real estate tycoon, and Tyson, the heavyweight champ who could practically sneeze and send opponents flying across the ring, were on the same page.
The opening bell, let's see what's happened. Tyson attacks immediately, cuts off the ring, throws him with just underway. Speaks through it. Tyson showing no fear, no respect at all here in round one.
It all started with Trump hosting the Tyson's infamous 1988 knockout against Michael Spinks, a 91-second fight about as long as it takes most of us to decide on a Netflix show, and boom. Trump was suddenly the host of the boxing event of the century, his casino was raking in cash, and Tyson was leaving with his reputation as the most feared fighter intact. A win-win for everyone. That fight was supposed to be a career-defining moment, and instead, he ended up as a one-minute highlight reel on Trump's casino marquee.
For me, anybody running, I don't care who they're, Republican, Independent, I'm a bad nigga to them. I'm not gonna let them look that. I don't look good around these Republican guys or Democratic guys, the people who are just, you know what I mean, politically inclined. So
he was so fast forward a few years and is hitting rock bottom. He's convicted of a serious crime. He's heading to prison. And what does Trump do? He doesn't cut ties. He actually advocated for Tyson's right to train in prison and suggested future fight earnings should go to charity. Because apparently Trump figured, who needs PR advisors when you can just keep everyone on their toes wondering what you'll do next?
And endorses Donald Trump.
Trump.
And Tyson, for his part, didn't forget this in 2015 when Trump made his big presidential debut and a wave of backlash came his way. Tyson was there, singing his praises and calling him a good guy, despite all the noise. And he followed the same pattern now, but silent. Then you've got to wonder, was this loyalty based on some unbreakable bond or just plain strategy? Maybe they both saw each other as useful allies. Trump could be the endorsement machine for Tyson's comebacks. And Tyson, well, he could be a reminder to Trump's fans that he knows how to keep tough friends. Because let's face it, loyalty in their world is about as reliable as an umbrella in a hurricane. But here they are, holding on to this odd alliance like it's some kind of historic pact. Trump's endorsement of Jake Paul is like tossing a lit match into a pool of gasoline. Suddenly, the boxing world is split into two camps, Team Trump and Paul versus Team Tyson, the old school icon.
Waiting for, but on November 15th at AT&T Stadium, Mike Tyson will enter the ring to battle Jake Paul.
Tyson, the former heavyweight champ, now 58 years of age, obviously coming out of retirement for this bout against the 27-year-old Paul, a YouTuber turned fighter.
It's no longer just a fight about who's better in the ring. It's a full-on spectacle, a soap opera, where every jab thrown has political implications. Every knockdown feels like a referendum on the state of the world. You've got Trump's crowd, the social media loving meme, obsessed Gen Z heavy brigade. And then you've got Tyson's hardcore fans who think Instagram influence is something that happens to other people's kids. The contrast is staggering.
Mike would say, this is not a good thing. I know Iron Mike, and he's a great guy, Mike Tyson. He's a great guy. He's a good man. Hey, Mike's been through a lot, but he could fight. Let me tell you, that guy could fight. But can you imagine Mike? Oh, he says, put Mike in the ring.
And let's talk about that infamous comment about Kamala Harris again. Because honestly, it's like the cherry on top of this whole circus Sunday Trump, with his classic sense of humor, thought it would be hilarious to suggest that Tyson face off against Harris in the ring, because of course that's a totally normal thing to joke about. So what's at stake in the big fight? The legacy of one of the greatest boxers ever against a YouTuber who made his fame by pulling pranks and doing backflips into pools, and who's Trump backing the guy who's going to make sure his followers tune in by constantly throwing shade and stirring the pot. No pressure, right?
You've all been waiting for, but on November 15th at AT&T Stadium, Mike Tyson will enter the ring to battle Jake Paul.
Tyson, the former heavyweight champ, now 58 years of age, obviously coming out of retirement for this bout against the 27-year-old Paul, a YouTuber turned fighter.
As November 15th approaches, one thing is certain. This fight isn't just a physical contest. It's a battle of egos, political maneuvering. And whether Trump's loyalty to Tyson will survive the weight of social media fandom, it's going to be a spectacle, whether we like it or not. And in the end, Tyson might get knocked out not just in the ring, but in the court of public opinion as well. So here we are, the showdown of the century. Will Tyson prove that age and experience? Trump, Jake Paul's fresh-faced energy, or will Trump's support for Paul turn this into the most ridiculous spectacle the sport has ever seen? One thing's for sure, whatever happens, we'll all be watching. Because let's be real, this is the kind of drama that's almost too good to miss.